Welcome, friends, to our pre-full moon garden visualization as we make our approach to decay and hierarchy on this auspicious highlight of the year, the spiritual highlight of the year. Taurus, the penetrating light of the path. All is love. Let's gather in our garden under the impress of the light of Taurus. Let's align with our own soul very briefly. Raise your consciousness into the head, as high in the head as you can. And then carry the consciousness upward through the astral body and the mind, then to the soul. Visualize a lotus, fully open, scintillating with light, as a symbol of your soul body. And place yourself in the center of your lotus on the bluey white diamond, and realize that you, the personality, and you, the soul, are one. From that point, definitely and consciously assume the attitude of the observer. Observe the personality below from your detached point of view. Visualize your etheric body below and see energy flowing freely up and down the etheric spine. And now consciously throw soul energy down into the center at the base of the spine, using indigo blue, the color of the ray of love. And now in your imagination, raise it slowly via the 5 centers up the etheric spine, then to the ajna, then to the crown, and up into the soul body, producing a vivification of the sutratma and the linking of the personality and soul into one blended unit. And I say the soul mantra, knowing who you really are. I am the soul. I am light divine. I am will. I am love. Fixed. The sound and om as if you were the soul in full expression. Gather in our garden. At the entrance to our garden, we stroll through arches of climbing roses, Master KH favorite flower. Clusters of flowers in abundance overhead, and choose the colors that you like. As we walk down the path, the roses gently caress our cheeks, and we breathe in the delicate aroma of the cascading flowers, percolating through the air. Small, lovingly trimmed green bushes line the stony pathway, and hear the gentle crunch of the tiny stones under our steps. At the end of the archway, along an embankment, there are rows and rows of flowers, flowers of different hues and harmonizing tones. And as we create these rows, we include our favorite flowers. The fragrant aroma of the blooms permeates the still air around us. We feel the soft, cool grass beneath our feet. On the opposite side of the embankment, we see right in the middle of our space of harmony a lighthouse, standing tall and strong, shining beams of light in all directions as a symbol of our united group soul. And as we assemble there quietly, we hear a choir of birds fill the space with their clear, melodious notes, welcoming us to this unique space. A chorus of angelic voices sing a soft tune, accompanied by the sound of harps. Divas gently strumming the chords. Sitting still around the lighthouse, we feel the gentle warmth of the rays of the sun. In the background, the breeze gently swishing through the tall eucalyptus trees chants a melodic lullaby. These majestic trees cast their protective shadows on the grass as sunlight peeps through this peaceful garden. Around the lighthouse, we see a large, quiet pool of crystal clear blue waters. And flowing from the pool, we see rivulets as we hear the gentle trickle of water. We also see 3 wider streams of golden water flowing steadily. Across them are curved wooden bridges. In one area of the pool, float lotuses of all colors in all stages of bloom. Some are in full bloom, revealing their gorgeous jewel, while others are just budding and barely showing their true color, but all reflecting their light in the healing waters. And beyond the pool, a hidden path leads to a cozy and serene corner. A few chairs or a bench and a small fountain containing supercharged, vitalizing water, perfumed by a single floating lotus, create the perfect spot for an informal sharing of one's difficulties or words of wisdom. So inhale the perfume of the flowers, imbuing the air. Everything in this garden quivers with livingness. And you can invite someone in need of healing in that corner. In the distance, we hear the soothing sound of water and we follow it. We come to a tranquil pool where cascading water gently hugs rocks as it joyfully spills in a blue pool while bubbles of spray ricochet spiritedly in the air. Lush ferns alongside the rocks, draping in the water, enhance the serenity of the place, while the fiery brilliance of the orange and red leaves of surrounding trees brings warmth and invigorating energy to the area. In our mind's eye, we follow a pathway which leads to flower beds. They are a riot of spring color, reds and greens and yellows, of such vibrancy. Winding their way like a gentle living stream among the trees. A row of violet flowers on either side of the meandering bed happily follows the path of the flowers as they release their subtle perfume. Butterflies flutter through the air with their iridescent wings, attracted by the silent serenade of the blooms. They are like the flowers of the air. Their delicate and fragile wings are like floating petals, catching the light and twinkling like diamonds in the air. While buzzing bees surf the open spaces from flower to flower, seeking pollen, which scintillate like bright golden pixie dust. This garden that we've just created is our garden, our group garden. But let's take a moment to add a little corner that has our individual touch. So add the colors, the unique features and flora of your own country that you'd like to blossom in this tranquil and serene space. Let's now invite the presence and the cooperation of the healing devas working under Christ and Master DK. They fill the space as they crowd around us, eager to pour their magnetism in service to humanity alongside us. we choose a spot in our garden where we sit in silence and we link our hearts and minds with the group. And we say the healer's mantra aloud together with purity of motive. Inspired by a loving heart, we offer ourselves for this work of healing. This offer we make as a group and to the ones we seek to heal, our fellow man. Our beloved humanity. Let's open our inner eyes, endeavoring to hold our mind unwaveringly in the group light. We know that Master DK too stands steady, pouring out upon us his love and strength and endeavoring to lift us up into a higher state of consciousness. We are now receptive to Master DK's radiant energy. The light of the lighthouse begins to become brighter and brighter, intensifying gradually. And soon this light begins to take shape and a definite figure appears. And in our creative imagination, it is that of Master DK. Let us be impressed by the powerful waves of cosmic harmony emanating from Master DK at the summit of our lighthouse, streaming through our united hearts, irradiating the garden around us and imbuing it with a Taurian energy of stillness, of desire for right human relations and harmony between nations. Let's listen intuitively to Master DK's teachings, and let's imagine his words as golden droplets of liquid light quenching the parched land of our brain, bringing warmth, light, and a loving understanding of the plan, and bathing our hearts in healing light and life. Taurus is the sign of illumination. Taurus, the penetrating light of the path. all is love. The keynote for the disciple in Taurus is I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. What does the light of illumination of Taurus, through the agency of the Buddha, reveal? It's the will of God. It's the divine will to good. Peace through understanding and right relations between men and between nations. We sense a critical alignment building up as we approach this unique full moon at Wesak. Sanat Kumara, the light of life itself, the planetary enlightener, the Christ, the distributing agent for the forces of enlightenment, the Buddha, the embodiment of light, hierarchy, and humanity. We sense another pronounced alignment of a triangle also forming between the Lord of the world, linked through the Manu representing Shambhala, the Christ, the Spirit, the Prince of Peace, representing hierarchy, and Master R, the Lord of Civilization, representing humanity, setting up a potent note and vibration, invoking the Spirit of Peace. Who is the Spirit of Peace, and why is he so important? The Spirit of Peace, or the Spirit of Equilibrium, as he's called, is an extraplanetary being of terrific cosmic potency. He is today overshadowing the Christ in much the same manner as Christ 2000 years ago overshadowed or worked through the Master Jesus. He is destined to bring peace eventually upon earth through the expression of goodwill, which will bring about right human relations. And what is the effect of the energy of the forces of light and the Spirit of Peace? It's the illumination of the minds of men with love and light. And this illumination then precipitates upon the mental plane. And the Spirit of Peace will vitalize the responsiveness of humanity via the influence of the hierarchy to the will of God, which has for basic intent the bringing of peace on earth. The Buddha acts today as the agent of that great life in whom we live and move and have our being. The Buddha acts today as the agent of that great life in whom we live and move and have our being, who is himself the true light of the world and the planetary enlightener. He is the Ancient of Days, the God of Love, Sanat Kumara, the Eternal Youth, the Lord of the world. The Shambhala force pours through the Buddha, producing an understanding cooperation with the divine plan, an enlightened fusion of the individual will with the great divine will, and this for the greater good of the whole. What's DK's request to us? I call you, he says, everyone, to a great service of demand and invocation on behalf of humanity, a demand for the inflow of light upon the decisions of men. I would ask you to request and expect the needed enlightenment for those who have to make decisions on behalf of men everywhere. Humanity is in crisis. The planet is in crisis. And really, it is in the hands of these few political figures. So let's make sure that we request and expect the needed enlightenment for those who are making decisions on our behalf, in our name. In Taurus, the Buddha achieved victory over desire and arrived at illumination. The Buddha, the agent of the life in whom we move and have our being, bestows on humanity the light of illumination of Taurus. So let's demand that desire be transmuted into aspiration. Individual will be fused with a great divine will for the greater good of the whole, and darkness be given place to light and illumination on earth. So let our spirit of demand for light, for right human relations, for the will to good from the Buddha permeate our group, infusing our garden with our invocation for greater light. By visualizing a shaft of light from Taurus descending on our garden and pervading it with illumination. Venus, the exoteric ruler of Taurus, the alter ego of the earth, is that mysterious force which is a blend of love and knowledge, of intelligence and synthesis, and of understanding and brotherhood. Venus, blending with Taurus, reveals the divine marriage between the lower nature and the higher self, to express inner fusion and harmony of the pairs of opposites. So let's picture Venus, the goddess of intelligent love, walking with poise through our garden, bringing Taurus and our earth closer together, carrying unimpeded the light which shines through the eye of the bull into the darkness, imbuing our garden with harmony in a fusion of heart and mind, of soul and personality. And feel this union deeply with every fiber of your being. Taurus, we are told, forges the instruments of constructive living. Vulcan, the esoteric ruler of Taurus, governed by Ray 1, brings in the Shambhala force in guiding the soul who works in the densest, most concrete expression of the natural world to fashion that which is beautiful and useful. That is, transmuting the material world and molding it to his will to achieve beauty and synthesis. Let's take a moment to imaginatively see and feel the thundering blow of Vulcan's hammer of will, striking his anvil, creating a beautiful jewel of harmony. The entire secret of divine purpose and planning is hidden in Taurus. The underlying goal of the evolutionary process, the onward rush of the bull of God, reveals steadily and without cessation the stupendous and sublime plan of deity. This is the subject which light reveals. Taurus is a synthetic sign. It brings expression of an inner urge of some definite nature upon the physical plane. As it is a practical sign. Humanity, the world disciple, is beginning to come under the influence of Taurus. Will this Taurian influence, increased as it is by the incoming Shambhala force producing the floodlight of illumination of which Taurus is the custodian? Or will it simply foment desire, increase selfishness, and bring humanity to the fiery heights of self-interest? This is where the new group of world servers plays a crucial intermediary role by directing the forces of enlightenment. The forces of enlightenment are the energy which will lead to intelligent activity and to correct mental planning. Once these have been released, it becomes then the responsibility of the new group of world servers to direct them. And we are part, an integral part of the new group of world servers. As the third seed group of magnetic healers. If the thinking of the world, if the thinking and executive people of the world can have their minds illumined by the spirit of wisdom and understanding, they can act as distributors of that light through enlightened planning and legislation, and thus affect the entire world. So let's visualize our lighthouse, symbol of our united soul group, standing strong and detached in the middle of our garden. As Master DK at the summit, directs the light of illumination to the heart of every blade of grass, every flower, every lotus, every tree, and every molecule of water and air. So now let's make use of our garden, which has been illumined by the light of the Buddha, by visualizing the flow of unconditional love or will to good emanating from the triangle, the avatar of synthesis, the spirit of peace, the Lord Buddha overshadowing the Christ, the center. Thus, we are told, the Christ with the fused energies of love and wisdom, with the aid of the avatar of synthesis and of the Buddha, and under the influence of the spirit of peace and of equilibrium, can implement and direct the energies which will produce the coming new civilization. He will see, demonstrating before his eyes, the true resurrection, the emergence of mankind from the imprisoning cave of materialism. So let's superimpose the radiating triangle on another triangle consisting of the Christ, Master DK, and our soul group. Then superimpose this blended triangle on our group chakric triangle, made up of our group crown chakra, our group ajna, and our group alta major. As we step down the energy of these stupendous beings, right down to the etheric plane, as we vitalize our triangle, our etheric triangle. Let's see all these triangles fusing and blending to form one blended triangle. And now let us direct the dispelling radiance of the will to good via our group ajna, right eye, left eye triangle. And let us place it, impressing it over the 3 planetary centers, London, Geneva, and New York. And let us sound one Om, carrying the will to good as we direct it to those who have to make decision on behalf of men everywhere via these 3 planetary outlets, then to the rest of humanity. the forces of enlightenment, initiate the new world education, and impress the big educational systems, the worldwide propaganda institutions, and all those agencies who work to educate and direct public thinking and mold public opinion, such as the radio, and nowadays TV, social media, internet, the film industry, the press, the publishers of world literature, speakers, writers, social workers, and progressive and liberal churchmen in all the world religions. So let us sound another Om as we see the will to good being carried by the sound of the Om to all these agencies. Say the healer's mantra aloud in a low voice, saying it slowly and deliberately, believing in the results. May the love of the one soul focused in this group radiate upon you, our fellow men, and permeate every part of your body, healing, soothing, strengthening, and dissipating all that hinders service and good health. And may they be enlightened, illumined, and aroused by loving understanding and peace. A request from DK. At the time of the full moon of May and of June, it will be advisable to use both invocations, that is the first and the second, and thus to fuse and blend into one united invocation the massed intent of humanity as a whole and the enlightened purpose of the disciples and hierarchy. The fusion of the two groups, humanity and hierarchy, may then suffice to sound out such a potent call that life may be released on earth instead of death, and the love of God play its part, its active part, in the reconstruction of world affairs. So I would therefore ask all of you during the weeks prior to the full moon of May and that of June, and for 5 days thereafter, to seek to dwell ever at the center, to endeavor to blend the cold light of your soul to blend the cold light of your personality with the clear light of your soul, so as to work effectively for the 5 weeks of the desired period. If this can be successfully accomplished, 2 great revelations may then be speeded on their way. The first, a revelation of light and understanding to humanity as a whole, leading them to knowledge and enabling men to see the cause of the present catastrophe. And second, a revelation of life, and of life more abundantly, as Christ promised when on earth. This revelation will give to the thinkers, idealists, true leaders and disciples working in the world today that spiritual energy which leads to right activity, sound leadership, and inspired and inspiring living. Such is the will of God for humanity, and such is the intent and purpose of Shambhala. So just like Christ does standing under the great pine tree in his garden at sunset, with his hands uplifted in blessing over all those who truly and earnestly seek to aspire. Let's picture a great pine tree in our garden, and let's gather around the Christ, Master DK, and the healing ashram under this great pine tree, saying the great invocations together as one united group. The first invocation. Let's say it with intensity of feeling as we grasp its significance and believe that they embody the will of the planetary logos. The first invocation. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May men of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all men be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. And so let it be. And help us to do our part. The second invocation. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming, save. Come forth, O Mighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O Mighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O Mighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O Mighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. Let us conclude with the third invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth, and let us sound a blue om as we visualize the shaft of light pouring down on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth and see a stream of love pouring down on earth as we sound a blue om. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. And let us see a stream of will to good pouring down on earth as we sound a blue om of love and will to good. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And now raise your clasp hands above the head and say, and so let it be, and help us to do our part. Then bring them down to your forehead and let them rest on your heart, to be radiated out to your immediate environment, to your community, and beyond. May the blessing of the Christ and of hierarchy rest upon all true servants, and may they stand tranquil in the midst of strife. And let us be still during the month of Taurus, because Taurus is the sign of stillness and peace, radiating love and blessing to all humanity. So may the light of the garden of our souls be on the inner plane what the sun is to the gardens of the world. A place of healing, a place of enlightenment, and a place of harmonious relations for many. Let us close with a minute of quiet. Of silence. With our hearts beating as one. Thank you, friends, for joining us today. And may we be in contemplative reflection on these hours before the full moon, so that we can dwell right at the center and be ready to participate and to radiate light during the full moon.